Hello, welcome to my channel. The main rule for the quilting is that there are no rules. You will learn, you will watch others, and you will find the methods and ways of quilting that works for you. And that's the most important thing, because you need to find what works for you to be able to enjoy the process. What you will see is my process of working with different materials and different designs, and I hope some of those tips and tricks will help you in your own journey. Hi, it's Paula from Paula Quilting, and today special intro, something for you to laugh about basically. About a year ago I watched a few videos about Dresden plates and I really loved the idea, so I bought the Dresden plate template. It came in, I bought a nice fabric, I cut it down, and I thought, okay, I will make a quilt with 4 blocks with Dresden plates, put it together, put some frames, it will be lovely. So I cut the fabric and I divided it into 4 piles, and I start stitching it, and I stitched it, and I stitched it, and from my 4 small Dresden plates, this is what came out. Okay, you can laugh now. So basically what I didn't notice, kind of haven't, pay attention to the ruler I bought, is that the bottom part of the ruler was very, very wide. And the wider it is, the more the more of those plates you need to make a circle. So this is what I end up. And I don't even have a round table to make it into the table topper. So I will fix it, I will make it into a quilt. I just, for now, I just finished the edges of it, or started finishing edges of it with the bias tape, and I have some sort of plan how to finish it now, but it was for a year, it was in my cupboard because I just couldn't, I was so upset that I didn't want to carry on with it, so, but if you want to see how it end up, I probably will make a video how to fix it or how I fixed it, and there will be definitely a picture on my Instagram and Facebook page, so if you're interested how it will come out, click on the link and sign up for those. So without further ado, the main part of the project now. So since I've got the ruler already, I would like to use it for something, not just humongous Dresden plates. So I thought, let's do some string blocks again, because I still got, after those few quilts I've done already and I showed you tutorials, I still got like buckets full, they multiply at night, so I really would like to get rid of it, or at least have like, the amount I can just fit into one box. And I've got those 2 and few other trays which to use up. So so I've got this this ruler can go up to 12 inches, which is nice big block. I'll be aiming for 10.5 finished block anyway. So I've got this black fabric which I've ordered for the quilt, and I don't remember what quilt was that supposed to be, so obviously it was not as important to remember. So I was thinking, because I want to have a finished blocks 10.5 inches, I will cut 11.5 pieces using that ruler. The effect I'm going for is that the middle going that way with the blocks, and they will be set up straight. You will see in the detail when I start doing those. And then on the side there will be mixed strips. I won't be color coordinating on this occasion. I'll just put anything what comes to the hand, just to get rid of some of those strips. So what I would like to do is 35 of those blocks to set them up 5 by 7, and then as I'm using those strips, usually you've got some cut off there left in most of the cases. So what I will do from those cut-offs, I will use the counting tape, adding tape to make strips, and I will do the border from that. And I might put like a small border first from the black, maybe 1.5 inch, just to set it off, and that border to finish it off. So that's the plan. But I like to go with the flow, so plan may change somewhere. So you will see on the end how it looks. So let me cut those pieces first. Just a note, if you do not have this type of ruler, or you have that smaller one, use the smaller one, or the narrower down at the bottom. Or what you can do is use your own, you can do your own template. The only thing you need is a piece of little bit thicker paper. I did made one template before, which I used for one of the quilts, and I will put the link below in it. So that was the template I did and I used in different project. You can have a look how I've done it. So if I did not have that ruler, I could do something similar I did here. So if you don't want to buy a ruler, make your own template. Works fine with a straight ruler to go on top of it to cut the fabric. So I will link in the description below to that other tutorial so you can see that part of the process. Okay, so I've got my black pieces cut, I've got my muslin squares cut, which are going to be my foundation for that piecing. And as I was preparing those black pieces, I was thinking it would have been nice to have something to frame them. If you watch my other videos, you can see I use quite a lot of white to do that illusion trick on those blocks. To have something, then frame it with white piece, and then added some other strips. So with black, this deep wine color will look nice, and then obviously I will add any other random strips on the sides to it. So I quite look forward to see how it will come up. Now I use a muslin squares as my foundation, and there are different methods of doing foundation piecing. You can use paper, you can use thin cotton. It really depends what you like. If you have tried other methods and you've chosen something, go for it. Use the one which is the best for you. If you haven't done this type of piecing before, try those different methods to see what you like. Maybe do something smaller, just try it out and see what works for you, because everybody will be liking something else. So I like muslin because I'm just thinking with all of those small strips and lots of seams, it will hold better when you're using the quilt, and I'm making quilt to be used, so they'll be washed often, used often, so they need to be prepared for that heavy lifting. Now it also saves me time on picking the paper later on the back. Also, if you have some of the fabric which is not the best quality and it's maybe a little bit on the sheer side, like something like this, you can literally see through. I'm not sure you can see it on the camera, but believe me, I can see through that piece of fabric. If I use it on this muslin and then I put it in the quilt, it will look fine, because that muslin will add a kind of another dimension to that piece, so you won't be seeing it so that it's so transparent. So if you have some maybe very light cottons and you don't know what to do with it, muslin is your to go method. But like I said, choose whatever method of the piecing you like and do that. You may even try without any foundation and see how it goes. I would probably use a lot of starch if I was doing that without the foundation, just to keep all of those seams together. Basically, in my head, I just think that the more seams in the block, the more support the block needs. So I'm either supporting it by adding the foundation on the back, or I will use a starch. So with the crumb blocks, for example, if you have a look at that video I've made, I use the starch on the end to keep it together nicely, and it's very, very easy to square it up and use it in the quilt later. So I'm all prepared now. I probably don't have enough of those for whole of the blocks at the moment, but I've got more of that fabric, so I will cut it as I go, as I need it. So I will go with that batch first, and let's crack on. of those blocks. Haven't trimmed them yet, but I would like to first see what kind of layout I could achieve from it. So this is what the block looks like, and I'm not sure frankly about it, if I'm happy with the look. I think I was I was hoping for more angle here, and it looks quite flat. Well, let's see if we can figure out something nicer. I don't know, it doesn't speak to me. So I think what I will do is I will square them up and try to sew it and slash it somewhere to make it a little bit more interesting. So let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so I will square them up to 11 inches. The final size of the block was due to be 10.5, and I was working on the 11.5 muslin square, so I should be able to square it up to 11 inches. So I'm lining up the ruler with the top edge of that black piece first. Let's turn it around. So I want 11 inches. And now I would like to have the middle, so I think the best will be just to find the middle like this. And I will use the pin. So I'm finding middle here, so I'm just pinning on that stitch, and I'm finding middle here by lining up those two seams where the red comes with the black, and I will put the pin there as well just to hold it in place. I mean, the more precise you're going to be, probably the better effect, but don't overthink it, just do the best you can with it. Okay, so half of the 11 is 5.5. Okay, I will line it up with 5.5. You might need to tug in a little bit in some places just to make that straight. I moved it. Here we go again. So here is fine, here is fine. I'm just tugging in this place to straighten it up a little bit. Okay. So they all will be squared up again later, so at this point of time the only thing I'm trying to achieve is to make sure that I've got the best 11 with that middle inside here that I can achieve. Okay, let's do the same thing with the next one. I could probably try to work out some sort of, process of marking the half here, calculate half of it, but I'm not sure they are all very even. I mean, every time the seam may shift a little bit, so I will do it this way, but you may find a different way of doing it. Anyway, next steps. I will take one of those blocks and I will draw a diagonal line on the back of it. Just using normal pen. I will be cutting on this line, so it's fine. And then I will put one on another, and I'm putting them, black on black, and I will try to again align as much as I can those points here where the black meets the red fabric. I will pin it so it doesn't shift when I'm sewing. Again, I will be squaring them to 10.5 after I sew. So as far as I put the straight lines here, it's fine. Okay, so you see it didn't light up here perfectly, but as far as those lines meeting here, those lines meeting there, and I can put a straight stitch here, I will square them up again in a minute, so that's fine. Okay, so let's take it to the sewing machine. And I will be sewing 1/4 inch from my marked line. I'm going slowly, and also as I'm doing it, I'm trying to kind of pull from both sides only slightly to make sure that fabric is nice and flat under that muslin. Okay, so let's cut the block in the middle and see what we have. Ta-da! I quite like it. So that gives me 2 blocks. Okay, what I will do is I will iron the seams open, and I will square them up to 10.5. Now, if you find yourself struggling to at this point to square it up to 10.5, just go smaller, square it to 10, just to make sure they are all the same. Let me do that, and I will make 2 more, and I will put it on the design wall and see what they look like. Okay, so I've got my first few blocks. Let's put it on and see how it looks. I like it already. It looks so much better. I don't think I want to go this way, because then I would need to be really careful whether I kind of had the exact cut here. So let's do it this way, and then I will put the other ones on top. Ooh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, that's the way forward. So I will carry on with those blocks, and then I just need to decide what type of layout I would like to go with, whether I just go those squares, or maybe there will be square and then additional square starting out somewhere. But I love this block. This looks really cool. So let me carry on. Let's have all the blocks done, and then I will put it on the floor and see what we can do with the layout. Okay, so I've finished the blocks and I've put them together on the design wall. I don't have a big design wall to put it the quilt the way it's supposed to be, full size, but I think you kind of get the idea with what you can see, what it's going to look like. So I'm very, very happy with the result of that design, and slashing those original blocks really made it into this awesome block. So I will sew the quilt together now, and obviously I will post another picture on the end of this video for you to see what it looks like. I just wanted you to see something. Those seams here, I've tried my best to align those red strips here, obviously red and black, but on some they look better than others, and I'm just showing you that so you don't worry about it. It is a scrappy block and scrappy quilt, and nobody will be looking through the magnifying glass to check how well you've matched the corners, or you've matched the strips. I think the overall look of the quilt and the individual blocks are so good that nobody will be paying attention to it at all. and as you can see, I have been like very random with the strips. There's no color coordination in it at all. I think that piece, you know, that red and black piece kind of brought it all together. So whatever other fabric you will add around it, it just adds to the block, rather than kind of make like a big mishmash, which may happen sometimes when you're using, you know, random colors together. So also, let me just move the camera a little bit because I wanted to show you one more thing. This and this is exactly the same fabric. I just put this one on the left hand side, just to show you how different effect that makes. But what I didn't want to put this one just straight next to the red one because I think it would just blend too much. But I really like that pattern on the fabric, so the left side of the fabric looks, you know, as good as the right side. And I'm just showing you that so you kind of experiment with the fabrics you've got, because if you think about it, if you have 5 fabrics, you actually got 10 different designs to choose from. So it's, you know, let's make it work better for us if we can use both of the sides. And, you know, maybe not every single piece of fabric can work that way, but a lot will. So just have a look at the other side of the fabric. If you think, you know, maybe the fabric you've got is too intense on the right side, turn it around, you might find that that's exactly what you're looking for. So just don't forget about that as well. So like I said, I will now sew my quilt together, and I will show you the final layout and final quilt. On the layout as well, you can play with it. I have tried to put some other bits and pieces or try to kind of design the quilt differently, and you can, but I like the way it looks now, so I will go with it. I finished sewing together my quilt top, and before I show you how it looks, there are a few things I would like to tell you first about piecing with strings and piecing with scrap. So few things to notice. I did show it before, those two coming together blocks, they are not necessarily very even here. You can see they are not, like, you know, matched together. Don't worry about it. When you open the quilt, nobody will notice it. Another thing is, when I was squaring up the blocks before I've put it in the quilt, you can see here I have not even squared it up to the corner. I'm not, let me just double check, you can see it. Yeah, so I have not squared it up to the corner, so you can see my corner on this piece finishes here, and then all the other corners finishing there. You won't see it once it's all open quilt, unless somebody will go with the magnifying glass and start checking it for you. Well, then don't give them a quilt, they don't deserve it. And this corner here is where a lot of seams are going to meet, and that's the bulkier place of the quilt. I'm just move it around. So with normal blocks, you know, you try to nest them, and I did try to nest them here as well, but I wasn't like very precise with it. Sometimes they're going open, sometimes going to one place, other place. The most important thing is you just need to iron in flat. Where the seam want to go, I wasn't bothered with it at all. Now it is a little bit bulkier than other seams because there's a lot of seams coming here together, but it's still flat when you iron it. So again, I'm not worry about it. Once I open it and I show you how the whole quilt looks like, you won't even notice it. So again, don't worry about it. So that's the second thing. I am going to add borders to my quilt because it's a square quilt at the moment, and I would like to have a rectangle. So there will be small borders added to it on the sides, and bigger borders for the top and bottom. But I will make a separate chapter about it because I'm cheating my borders basically. There are a few options how to add the borders. There are some better ones and not so good ones, and I will kind of cover it all in that next video. And so just watch the space for that. But I will show you how the quilt looks when I finish with the borders. And here it is, finished quilt. So there is 3 by 3 layer of the finished blocks. I've added a border all around it, and just to, you know, stretch it a little bit more. It's not a bedspread quilt to cover all the bed, but it would be nice lap quilt. I really enjoyed at the end the process of making those blocks. You know, it wasn't what I thought it will be. It kind of transformed whilst making it, but that's a part of my process. And you know, I do encourage you, if you made some blocks and they are not necessarily what you like, just make them into something else. Look at them from different perspective. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe to my channel to support my work. For further inspiration and examples of my work, you can check my Instagram or Facebook page. Happy creating!